10 until 11 on WHOW, on AM and FM, and on the WHOW streams. We provide farmers and ranchers with timely insights and information aimed at improving their operations. Join me, Chip Flory, weekdays at 10:06 on Central Illinois Ag Station, WHOW.
You're from Central Illinois, WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest in studio this morning is Rennie Cluver, Executive Director of the Clinton YMCA. Good to see you, Rennie. How are you?
Happy to be here.
Thanks for coming in and talking. It's always good to have you on the program. And I know that we look at the calendar and we're going to turn it over to August on Saturday, which means start of school is just a few short weeks away. Don't tell the kids that. But I know for your staff, that's going to wind down Camp Osage and start to think about Y Zone before after school care. How about that transition here coming up?
Well, I think just last week, we posted that the online registration for Y Zone is open.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've already got a handful that have been using that online option, which is really the best option, just like we did with camp. And it's so much more convenient for parents to be able to not have to fill out this paperwork and bring it in. And so that's open. So it's there. You can go on our website under the child. I think if you go to the youth icon and it pulls down, you can see before and after school care, and if it's Monticello, Clinton. And then we have mentioned that we are doing kind of an early out days over in Farmer City that we're going to be hosting.
Oh, really?
Y Zone for those. I think they have 6 days on their schedule that they get out at 1:00.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're going to help provide the district some childcare needs there.
Okay. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah. School right around the corner. Now, I know you do it's the equivalent of Camp Osage in Monticello. I don't know what they call it over there. Do you do before after school care in Monticello like you do in Clinton?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell us about that program.
It's a great program. And I've been able to really look at the programs that we've got with Melinda Akers that runs our Y Zone and summer camp here, and then Caitlin Myers that runs our Y Zone and camp over in Monticello. And those two have done a fabulous job. And I say one of the big indicators of that is returning staff that keep coming back, that want to be a part of it, and the adult staff that we have in those programs, which is huge because it helps the program. When you've got adults that are help running that program and you don't rely on 16, 17, 18-year-old kids, which we've got some great younger staff too, but to be able to rely on some adult staff is such a benefit for those programs because they run smoother and great.
Now, do the programs in Monticello, Clinton, and then soon to be Farmer City, do they look the same, or do they operate the same, or are there distinct differences between some of them?
Very, very similar. I would say Monticello, the only difference, and well, really not a big difference, but Monticello is how all of our programming is housed in the old Lincoln School that was over there, which has been great. That the school district over there has been so easy to work with and collaborative efforts because they see the value in this program, what it offers their parents in the school district. And so being able to have, we've got that gym for big space, and we got the playground outside, and then they've got the stage, and they got some classrooms. You go over there and it's really set up nice, which the school district here in Clinton is great for us for Y Zone, but we also understand that the other sporting events and book fairs and parent teacher conferences, all that stuff does affect the space that we can use, and we modify and really make it work. And it's been a great fit for us. So there are differences as far as the like scheduling and working around different school events between Monticello and Clinton. And then Farmer City's going to be, everything will be at their grade school. It'll be just after or when school gets out at 1 till I don't think 5:30 is the cutoff. And it's going to be a nice trial, because if we see the need, if the district sees a need for a regular after school care, then this will be a nice way to gauge that interest and maybe be able to offer before and after school every day over there in the coming years.
100%. Sure. Now take me over to Farmer City. How did this come about? Who's going to lead up that program? How long has this been in the works? How about some of those things?
Yeah. So the superintendent over there, Mr. Payton, reached out to me, a while back, to talk about the idea of being able to offer some type of childcare for the days that the district was getting ready to vote on to have these early out days for school improvement, things like that. And I gave them really a lot of credit that they were looking at this could be a potential need for parents that, what do I do with my kid at 1 o'clock? I'm usually able to pick them up at 3 o'clock after school or 3:30. And now I got to
take a couple hours off work.
So they really wanted to have, all their options and the potential issues that could come up with having those days. And so that's kind of how it started. And so I met with them a couple of times over there and said, well, yeah, we can make this work. And working with Melinda, that runs our Y Zone here, and like I just talked about, the adult staff that we have, we've got the ability to have an adult staff that can come over there and make sure it's ran smoothly. And now if it develops into more of a regular basis, then we're still looking for staff. We need some high school kids to come in to help with those early out days. And so
kind of put a call out for them maybe then. Yeah. So if you're high schooler in Blue Ridge, maybe consider this opportunity for some.
I think the first date is September 14th or 16th. One of those is their first early out days.
Okay.
And so we'll definitely, once school gets started, then we've got about a month to find a couple of staff.
So you can recruit in the halls and stuff. Yep. Yeah, that makes sense. That's very good. I laugh. We were talking in the hall before we came in, Rennie, and it's like, what are we going to talk about? Well, I don't know. We'll find something, and kind of buried the lead on me a little bit with this one. This is a great opportunity for kids. Rennie Cluver, Executive Director of the Clinton YMCA, is my guest in studio for today. Well, and back to Y Zone, maybe for, parents in Blue Ridge who maybe understand the concept of Y Zone. They understand it's before after school care in Clinton. It'll be early dismissal in their district for the time being. What are we doing in Y Zone? What are the kids working on? What are they doing to pass the time? How about some of those things?
Well, and going back to Farmer City, one thing that they really wanted us to make sure that we offered, which we offer at both locations in Clinton and Monticello, is at Y Zone we always have a time for homework help. If those kids come out of school and they've got stuff to get done, we designate time to sit down with them and work with them on that with staff. And so that's something I know Blue Ridge really wants to have that option. So there's homework help. Gosh, they'll go outside if it's nice out on the playground. They can use the gym space for whatever they want to keep them active. See, I've got it really right here. Y Zone, we do not require a YMCA membership for that. There is a registration fee, which you have to be registered, fill out all the legal paperwork that we need to have for that. But the activities are driven to keep the kids active. And so it changes depending on the day and the week. I know we've even talked about using other sources in town that could come in and do. I know last year, our Y Zone, we did something with origami. It offered, I think every Monday in the month of March, we offered origami, after school for some of those kids. And so there's options to do more specific activities. And that's something that we're really looking at doing at Blue Ridge too, since we know specific days, the 6 days of the year that we can really work with having something special.
Yeah.
We even talked about bringing one day or multiple days where we could bring those Farmer City kids over to the Y here and maybe swim in the pool and just enjoy the Y facility for that day.
Sure. Very good. Now for Farmer City, Clinton, Monticello, do they all register at the same place, and is registration look the same for each program?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, if you go to the website there, you can pick Clinton schools, Monticello schools, or Farmer City. It's just a little bit different setup with Farmer City as far as what that looks like. We actually waived a registration fee for that program this year to try to draw more interest. And, since it was one day a month for 6 months, so we did waive that. But as far as the questions and things that we need to have on file, it's the same as the other schools.
It feels like the Y under your leadership, Rennie, has really tried to make an effort to be active in Farmer City and the Blue Ridge District. Is that fair to say, you think?
Yeah, I mean, you look at DeWitt County as a whole and what the impact the Y can have on the community is, we are in Clinton. The facility is in Clinton. But I mean, even going to Monticello, which is 30 miles away from us, and the impact that we've been able to have on that community, and to see the support that we've had from the schools, parents, just the community in general, has been, it's really, that's why we're there, is when there's a need and the Y could be a source to help cover that need, then that's where we want to step in. And so just to be able to get involved in Farmer City, ultimately we want to be there and do what we can to help. And as long as it's, feasible for the Y, and we're going to try to get involved in every community that's around.
And not that the Y relies on local tax dollars, because if I'm not mistaken, you don't. But folks may wonder, why are we reaching out to Monticello, who's in Piatt County? Why are we reaching out to Blue Ridge, Farmer City, when they, they're right up against McLean County? Why aren't they partnering with Champaign in the case of Monticello? Why aren't they partnering with Bloomington Normal in the case of Blue Ridge? Why is Clinton the touching point for those communities?
Yeah, that's a great question, and it really comes down to how YUSA, the YMCA, the Y of the USA, draws up the jurisdiction of every Y that's in an area, and there's certain overlaps, but for instance, Monticello is in our jurisdiction, and so if we weren't running before and after school program, then Champaign or Decatur could, as long as they had the Clinton YMCA's blessing. Because there are areas that otherwise probably have programming that another Y could have programming there, and they just have to work out the details on who's going to offer, who wants to offer it. But as far as jurisdiction, I mean, you can go to a map and look at, okay, those zip codes are the Clinton YMCA covers those. If they're going to have programming, they get first rights at those. So
sure. Does it make sense for the Clinton Y to be in Monticello and Farmer City?
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah.
I think they, as far as the child care in general for YMCAs across the country, is, when people think about the YMCA, they think of youth, right? I know that's not all we do, but that's a big part of our mission and what we can offer. And we do that well. And so if you look at Y Zone and summer camp, that is youth driven 100%. And every community, you could probably find a need somewhere for childcare, summer activities. And so, yes, it's something that we do well. It's something that's it's profitable for YMCAs to be involved in that. And so, yes, for definitely to be involved in those communities at that level is worth it.
Sure. Very good. Well, Rennie, you mentioned registration is available for the new Y Zone year coming up when school kicks off. I think probably Monticello, Clinton, and Farmer City are going to have 3 different distinct start dates. So where do folks go to register for the respective Y Zone programs?
Well, if you're on our Facebook page, or you can pull up our Facebook, I know we just posted direct links to those registration pages. You can find it easy that way, or you just go on our website, ClintonCommunityYMCA.org, and follow the drop downs to get you to childcare and before and after school care.
Sounds good. Very good. Rennie, on that note, let's break, my friend. Come back with some more. Rennie Cluver, Executive Director of the Clinton YMCA, my guest in studio. More to come with Rennie on the WHOW Morning Show.
WHOW.
Check the markets now on the RFD Radio Network. I'm Jim Taylor. We are lower across the board with corn, beans, and Chicago wheat at this hour. September corn down to 11 3/4. 452.5. December corn 475 down 12.5. March corn down 12.5. 490.5. August beans 1207 3/4 down 40 1/4. September beans down 40.5, under $12 at $11.99 3/4. November beans 1213 down 40.5. September Chicago wheat 673 down to nickel. September KC wheat down 5.5, 739 3/4. August bean meal down 12.30, 319 even. August bean oil down 256, 71.77. Livestock trade August feeders 341.35 down 397. August live cattle down $1, 226.07. August lean hogs down 40 cents, 102.45. Energy market September Brent crude oil is down 6.
This is Seth Lawrence, station manager for the Heart Media Group here in Clinton. We take pride in being Clinton and Central Illinois' local radio stations each and every day, 7 days a week. What does local news mean? Here's a sample.
Yeah, we did receive a grant. It's a sizable grant. It was $50,000.
Trying to get some additional personnel for the fire department.
You can sign up anytime that summer reading is going on, which is May 30th through July 31st.
What I'm really concerned about is losing local control over what happens with data centers.
But then what we're finding for e-bikes, there's different classes of e-bikes.
You hear the local people that make the news every day, 7 days a week. Follow WHOW on Facebook and Instagram to see the faces behind the voices and stay connected to your local community on WHOW and WEZC.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, a good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest in studio today is Rennie Cluver, Executive Director of the Clinton YMCA. You know, Rennie, we talked about school getting back in session here in a few weeks, and with the final week of July, I'm sure those summer vacations and all the travel will start to subside. And I wonder, is it about this time of the year you start to see whether it's memberships pick back up, you know, somebody pauses it for the summertime, or just the Y becoming more busy with folks? You know, they're not walking in the mornings. I should have mentioned this with the weather service before you came in this morning, but daylight is starting to come, you know, later and later in the morning nowadays. It's still pretty early, but nonetheless, I just wondered, do you see an uptick in activity memberships around this time of the year? What are your trends? What do you notice?
Well, I know you and I have talked about this before. Generally speaking, I would say over the last 2 or 3 years, I've seen an uptick in just people understanding the importance of health and wellness, whether they had a membership prior or not. The usage of the facility has been very consistent. Usually at, you know, this time of the year, I would pull into the parking lot or leave to even come here, and, you know, there's 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 cars out there. The Y is heavily used almost all day. Now, I think between the hours of 1 and 3 can be a dead time, but you come after 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, besides our programming that's going on, if it's swim lessons, if whatever it is, tumbling, the facility is being used, the gym, 4-on-4, 5-on-5 basketball, the weight room, the cardio equipment has just been consistently being used. So as far as an uptick in membership, we've seen a steady increase, like I said, over the last 3 years. And then, but more importantly, I think, is the use. And we're just at a good point in where society values health and wellness.
Yeah. And I know you've mentioned or mentioned to me before we got started today, you know, membership has steadily kind of been going up and up and up. I mean, people, it doesn't really matter the time of the year. You said folks are just continuing to join and participate and be active at the Y, which is great.
Yeah, our aqua size classes have had numbers that we haven't seen in years.
No kidding.
Especially this time of year. And a lot of that I really enjoy because there's such a social aspect of the people that come to those classes. And even, you know, the land classes, you know, people that want to be there, there's some accountability because they want to see their friends. And it's great to see because one of the hardest things in this industry, as far as health and wellness and having a gym, is member retention. I mean, because honestly, if you were to come to me today, I'll just say this example, and someone say, "Hey, I'll give you the Disney TV package for free for 6 months." That does not excite me at all. It could be free, it could be, but someone else, they'd be like, "Oh, that would be great because we use it all the time." And so, you know, I think about that in the health and wellness and with our membership and cost of a membership. It's like, there's some people that I could give free memberships out and just would never come and use the facility just because that's just not part of their health and wellness plan.
Sure.
And then there's other people that look at the cost of membership and go, this is my return on investment is unbelievable. I pay $68 a month for a family membership and we love it. And we would pay more. So it's that retention. And if it's adding new equipment or new programs, or it's tough to gauge what is going to bring in. The hardest thing is to get someone that is thinking about giving up their membership because they're just over it. You know, I don't like to exercise anymore. That's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep them.
I want to, last minute here, Rennie, I want to highlight real fast a new land exercise program coming to the Y. What's going on here?
Yes, the works. It's been, I think we're probably into week 3 or 4 with offering that. We decided to do a trial with Shannon Brame that's been teaching works in the community and bring it here to our members and to see if we've got interest in it. It's been going very, very well. And so after 3 months, we'll revisit it and see if we want to continue to keep it going.
All right, very good. Where do folks learn about all the land classes and opportunities at the Y, Rennie?
Get on our website. I think that's it's updated. That's where you get all the information, or just stop by and say hi and we'll give you a tour or give you all the paper information we can.
Sure. Very good, Rennie. Well, it's always good to see you, sir. Appreciate you making time for us. Rennie Cluver, Executive Director of the Clinton YMCA, our guest in studio this morning. The morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance.
WHOW.